What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the first deer I ever killed with my bow. So, let's get right into today's video. So, this whole story starts back in 2022-ish when I got to go on my first bow hunt. So, it was opening day bow season, and let's just say it rained all day on opening day bow season, and we didn't see anything. Fast forward 1 week, we go, and we probably hadn't been sitting there 30 minutes. It's good shooting light. All of a sudden, I see 3 deer coming from my left. They walk down, stop at about 25-ish yards, and I draw back. So I let the arrow fly, and I hear it hit the deer. So I'm like, well, it sounded good and solid. Well, I look down there, and I see the arrow laying on the ground. So we wait about an hour. I climb down and I walk over there, and that arrow has basically just pulled out of the deer. There's a little bit of blood, but it didn't get more than 2 inches of penetration. And it's not because I was not shooting enough poundage. I was shooting plenty enough poundage to kill a deer. But I hit the deer in the shoulder blade, and basically all it did was when it hit the shoulder blade, it just backed right out. So I was like, well, the deer's probably not going to be dead. So we looked a little bit, didn't find any blood. Needless to say, that doe showed back up 8 hours later on trail camera, eating, feeding, running around, doing just fine. Fast forward 1 year to 2023. I don't think I went on one bow hunt in 2023. 2023 was an awful year. Like, we saw 0 deer. I killed 2 deer, a small 6-pointer, and a small doe. But that was it. Fast forward to 2024, I was really pumped to get back in the deer woods and start hunting. So, opening day bow season comes. It's real rainy and nasty. I climb up in the stand, and I'm sitting there. Here comes 3 does from my left. This is not the same stand where I shoulder blade shot that big doe. They come down, the doe's standing there. I draw back with my bow. I let the arrow fly. She drops it. I shoot right over. I'm just going to cut the story, make it a little shorter. I shot over 4 deer back that year. It was a terrible bow season for me. But I did tag out that year. It was my first year tagging out. I tagged out with my rifle. I killed a smaller 8-pointer, and then I killed a pretty big half-rack. Now, fast forward to 2025 opening day of bow season. I saw 2 does opening day, but they never did come in. I'll put some pictures in the video, but I was hunting a really big 8-pointer and also like 5 other really nice bucks behind my house. But I never did see any of those deer in daylight. I think the Wednesday before opening day of bow season was the last picture I had of one of those bucks in daylight. And that was it. They were all nocturnal after that, but they were consistently nocturnal. So, fast forward to October. I'm sitting in a double man ladder stand on a hardwood ridge. Doe comes in. I shoot. I shot right over her back. The next week I'm sitting there, and I'm going to be real honest with y'all. I made a poor shot on this next deer. I shot it right basically through no man's land. Between the lungs and the spine, I shot it like basically straight through the back strap in no man's land. And that buck showed back up 3 weeks later, doing just fine, chasing does around. I've actually seen him a couple of times, and he acts like a normal deer. So, fast forward 1 week. This is 3 weeks now that I've sat in this one stand. 2 of those weeks I've seen deer. So, I'm sitting there. It's about 8 o'clock, I guess you would say. Sitting there, and I seen some squirrels, no deer. I look to my right, and here comes a deer. Now, my dad had told me that if there was a buck and a doe in my corn pile in front of me, to shoot the doe. He would rather me shoot the doe instead of the buck. But he said, if just a buck came in, you can shoot the buck, if it's a small buck. He only wanted me to shoot the doe if there was a small buck at the corn pile. So, we were sitting there. And all of a sudden I look to my right, and here comes a deer. I think it's a doe. All of a sudden, look, he's got antlers. I thought he was a spike, but I wasn't going to pass him up for a first bow deer. Absolutely not. Anyways, he walks, hits a scrape at 32 yards, but there's too many branches in the way. He walks over and comes to my corn pile, but there's a tree blocking his vitals. Finally, he walks out, steps out from behind that tree, and I draw back. And I'll put the clip in right here and the rest of the video, but you'll just have to watch the rest of the video about how the story ends. You can probably hear me say in that video that I shot the deer with a G5 dead meat. I thought I would try a different broadhead this year. I usually shoot fixed, and I never killed a deer. You know, I shot deer with fixed, but just not in the right area. So I decided I'd try G5 dead meat, and I absolutely love that broadhead. I got a complete pass through on the deer, as you saw in the video. People say you gotta shoot big heavy arrows and heavy poundage to get a pass through with an expandable. I'm shooting 55 pounds and a 25.5-inch draw length with a 26-inch arrow that's 450 grains, and I got a complete pass through on a deer. Now, it wasn't a big bodied buck, as you could see in the video, but he was a nice deer. And you could probably see in the video that I was thrilled to be able to kill my first deer with a bow. Alright, y'all, we're going back to a stand back there in the back. We're on a hardwood ridge, and there's a creek down in front of it. And we're going to that stand where I missed a doe the other night. But I've been getting pictures on my Mulcher mobile cellular camera of some deer coming through there, a bunch of does and a couple bucks. Two really nice bucks been coming through there, but other than that, just little 6-pointers and forkhorns been coming through there. But we're gonna ease back there tonight, and I'm gonna be sitting in a bow stand, and Dad's gonna be sitting in a double man stand with a 30-06. So hopefully we'll get something on the ground. Oh my gosh, man. I killed him. I need to get down. Just wait. Oh my gosh. Call Mama. Alright, y'all, I just killed my first one with a bow. It was a looked like 3-pointer, but I don't care how big he is. I killed him with my bow. We was sitting here, and all of a sudden I heard something to my left, and I seen his tail come down through here. and he's gonna leave, and all of a sudden I grabbed my grunt and hit it. My dad, he was sitting behind me about 20 yards, and he had a can call, like one of them old Primos can calls, and he turned it over, and that buck come in and hit a scrape at 32 yards, and there were too many branches. And then he walked to my corn pile, and I drew back and put it right where he needed to, and it shot all the way through him, and he ran about 60 or 70 yards and just tipped over. But
all right, let's go find him.
And we're gonna go check out that area and then go see him. All right, y'all, we're gonna walk down here. I'm gonna turn up more than he was running. I can see the blood coming out. So, pretty sure about it. He was hitting that straight. I think I watched the big one on the table and the branches and stuff. Look at the blood. So what you're gonna see right there. What you see blood right there. Oh. That G5 dead meat right there. Absolutely smoked him. Alright, y'all, so this old buck come in. He's not a giant, but I killed him with my bow, and I'm happy. Last week I shot one that I wasn't able to find, but this week this one come in to 21 yards, hit my corn pile. I put it right where I needed to. You can probably see the shot, and it smoked him. He run 40, 50 yards maybe, and we seen his belly roll up in here. And I shot him with a G5 dead meat. And I mean, that G5 dead meat absolutely tore him up. Put a big old hole in him. And I know he's not huge, but this deer had me more tore up than about any buck I've ever killed. I believe he had me more tore up than my biggest buck I ever shot, just to shoot him with my bow. And we're gonna get a skull mount on him. And but we gotta get him out of here first, so we're gonna get some pictures. I'll get back with y'all later. Well, I think that's where I'm gonna end today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and we'll see y'all on the next one.